Your Olympic hero has arrived. It's true, it's true.
You're watching Fugitive Red Eye, and welcome to another Red Eye Responds. Today we're looking at articles again, and specifically we're going to be looking at a few anime articles. There's not enough in this one to make one video, which is why I'm going to be looking at multiple, because there's only a few things in this list that I've actually seen. But they say this is 26 of the most awful anime they've ever watched, and at least some of these entries are spicy for me. So Trinity 7 I've never seen, so I'm not going to comment on, but this one right here, Dead Man Wonderland, that's in my top 10, in both my top 10s, the one for the 2010s and the one for all time. In fact, it was in both versions of my top 10 of the 2010s, so clearly I like this series, so let's see what this person has to say. Maybe it's because I watched the dubbed version instead of the original, but it's still a bullshit series. I mean, the dub's bad. They got fucking Greg Ayres as Ganta in the dub, because Greg Ayres is, like, contractually obligated to be in every dub ever made, they have Greg Ayres there, so that's bad. The action felt forced, and as if it was using violence as an excuse for the anime's poor characters and uninteresting story. What do you mean, uninteresting story? This kid's entire class gets killed, he gets framed for it, thrown in this insane super prison that has, like, a crazy obstacle course that kills people, arena where they fight to the death, they use their blood as a weapon. Why do you think that's uninteresting? What is wrong with you? That's cool. And the main character, oh my, let's not even get started on the little guy, too painful to watch and listen to. I mean, again, Greg Ayres has a terrible voice. I don't mean to shit on Greg Ayres so much. I mean, he's kind of a meme on this channel at this point, because I talk about him a lot. He's not a great voice actor, and he's very miscast as Ganta. There are a few roles I like him in. I like him in Ghost Stories, because it's not really serious. I like him in Dragon Ball Super as Frost. I think he does fine there. But other than that, I don't particularly care for his acting. I get the characters starting off weak is necessary to make them stronger later, but the main protagonist in this anime is so badly done. Elaborate, please. What is badly done? He's a normal, like, high school / middle school age student. Entire class gets wiped out, and he's just kind of thrown into this mix. And he becomes pretty powerful by the end, especially if you read the manga. And if we're just going by the anime, he still gets pretty powerful. But the anime does stop short, so the constant bitching and rushed plot killed it for me. Rushed plot I get because they only told half of the story and they end on a cliffhanger. But what do you mean constant bitching? I honestly don't know what you're talking about. Are you honestly saying you wouldn't bitch if you got thrown into like a super prison and put on death row? Haven't seen that. 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 Batum, yeah. I liked this when I first saw it, but then I realized it's just a bad Battle Royale ripoff. So I'd agree that they're probably right on that. There's such a thing as too much violence, shocking violence just for the sake of it. I mean, that's not why it's bad. I think it's because it doesn't have any substance on top of it. The rape scene in the first couple episodes is an example. So, it's anime, you're gonna encounter that. But yeah, they take with the violence and this anime falls flat on its face. There's really nothing else to say about it. I would agree for the most part. I think it is pretty egregious, but like, it's not like the worst thing ever, but it's very forgettable. Haven't seen that. Haven't seen that. So the Future Diary OVA Mirai Nikki Redial. I don't hate this one. It's a little bit odd and it is kind of a mess. I agree with that first sentence, because essentially it's a rushed like happy ending that kind of elaborates on a post-credit scene from the original series, and it's kind of forced. I'll fully admit that it's kind of a cop-out. I'm a big fan of the original series and love the anime in general. This add-on to the original story felt out of place, though, like an unnecessary piece to the puzzle. It has no reason to be there. If this add-on was taken out of the picture, the ending would have been more satisfying. I mean, would it, though? I mean, it's a very dark and depressing ending, which I do like, don't get me wrong. And, I don't know, I think that this was a fine adaptation. Like, this is the happy ending. You want the sad ending, just watch the anime. You want the happy ending, watch this. And this, again, they kind of tie together. So, I don't know. Anohana, I've seen it once. I liked it at the time. It's not the greatest thing in the world. In all honesty, I don't remember enough about it to really make a judgment. Even if something isn't realistic, if it's relatable, that's enough to fill in the gaps. Anohana is a bad example. I don't know. I hardly remember it. I remember this character is a ghost, and, like, the main character can see her. But, I don't remember a lot of it. I didn't hate it. I thought it was actually pretty good when I first saw it. So, we're gonna say I don't know enough about this to actually really talk about it. Darling in the Franxx, never seen it. Never seen that. High School of the Dead. I liked it at first when I saw it. And then I got burned out on zombies and felt that the fan service was really fucking forced. So I actually think that it's not great, but I think that I'm kind of indifferent to it now. It's basically just fan service ecchi bullshit that's not like the greatest. High School of the Dead is an ecchi series, yeah, but if you watch it without looking, you're bound to be disappointed in the first few episodes. Why? This is a horror series that takes every chance it gets to shove fan service down your throat, and that's even during a scene where zombies are trying to feed on main characters' brains. Yeah, they do that. I mean, it's not like the zombies are going to get a kick out of the fan service and hot girls or constant ass and boob shots. It's a bit much to deal with. I would agree. Take away the distractions, and this anime could have been better, but it dragged down the quality too much for me. I see this is a perfectly reasonable entry. Never seen this, but I know it's really popular, so there you go. I haven't seen this either, but I've heard good things. I haven't seen this. Angel Beats was good. I liked Angel Beats. You may not expect this, but I actually really like Key. I've only seen a couple of their series. Like, Clannad is a fucking masterpiece, and Clannad After Story is even better than the original Clannad. Angel Beats was like my introduction to Key, and I think it's great. It's one where, like, these characters are in, like, this purgatory, and they're, like, going to war with each other. And it is a tragic romance in a sense, too. Like, the romance is very downplayed, which I think is why I like it. And it's not really elaborated on till towards the end. But it's an interesting enough story, and I enjoyed it. But let's see what they have to say. Angel Beats is one of those shows that are so popular and well-known in the anime community, it's amazing how many people sing praises for it. It's because it's good. It was music to my ears. You wanna fix that typo? Until I paid attention to the melody. This so-called emotional appeal is overrated. Why? I didn't feel anything for the characters because the connection wasn't there and they did a mediocre job of getting the feelings across. No, I thought they did great. What are you talking about? The thing with the emotional appeal is it takes time to help you really connect to a character. I mean, that's how a character works. You have to build up a connection to them. You don't just immediately love a character most of the time. There's instances where you do, for sure. But, like, characters usually have to develop to be, like, interesting. If they don't really go anywhere, there's not a lot of appeal most of the time, and I think these characters develop really well. Pacing matters here, as well as backstory or something meaningful to tie things together. Violet Evergarden does this well, but Angel Beats doesn't. I haven't seen Violet Evergarden, but Angel Beats does a great job with the characters. Fuck you. The theme itself might be sad, but it doesn't deserve to be called one of the best anime like everyone claims it to be, as far as I see it. Well, I mean, I wouldn't call it one of the best, but it's certainly enjoyable. I would say it's definitely inferior to Clannad. Clannad's way fucking better than Angel Beats. But Angel Beats is still pretty good. Haven't seen that. Haven't seen that. I know PewDiePie talked about it. Haven't seen that. And haven't seen that. So there we go. Alright, now we're on this one from the top 10s. That's an obvious fucking pick. Okay. Whatever. Everyone always picks this one. I like the ending. I've never actually watched the anime, but I've seen the ending. I've heard that it's really, like, hard to watch until the ending, though. I haven't seen this, but I'm going to at some point because I have to review everything Phantom Strider shit on. Haven't seen that. I think Phantom Strider shit on this one, too, though. Everyone talks about this one. Still need to watch it, too, because I think Phantom Strider talked about it. Pokemon, yeah, I kind of would agree, actually. Like, I mean, I liked it when I was... What? Okay, here we go. Good thing I chose this list. Ooh. I literally was just talking about how much better this is than the original Clannad and how fucking good this series is. So let's see. Clannad is based off a visual novel. So, is there any... There's no reason. Okay, so this is just rankings. See, all the negative comments on here just make me facepalm. So what if Clannad is slow, has inferior character designs, and a deus ex machina? Do the faults automatically mean it deserves a dishonor and making it into the worst anime ever? No, it does not. Absolutely. The story, while slightly jarred, is well told. The characters are well developed. Okay, so this is just a ranking list. Okay. Yeah, fuck whoever put this on here. This is a fucking good series. I love Clannad After Story. Way better than the first Clannad. Okay, yeah, this isn't exactly the best, list. What? Bobobo? Why? I love Bobobo. Dragon Ball GT. Oh, fuck you, you fucking normie pieces of shit. GT is fucking amazing. Shut the fuck up, okay? There is nothing wrong with Pan. I don't know why so many people hate Pan. The designs are god-awful. You know Toriyama, like, designed several of the characters at the beginning of the series? Everyone has to shit on GT. I'm surprised it didn't make it into the top 10, but Clannad After Story did, though. That's really fucking surprising to me. Alright, let's see what my anime list has to say. Again, it's probably just going to be a list, but, well, there's actually stuff here, I think. But yeah, Mars of Destruction, everybody already talks about that. Skelter Heaven, Phantom Strider talked about that, I think. I think this I've heard of before, too. Pupa, obviously. I've heard of that. Dark Cat. That's an interesting looking one, because it's like, I've heard it's not a hentai. And this image would suggest that it should be. But I guess it's not. And I think that's part of, like, what makes it weird, is it gets really fucking weird, but doesn't go full-on hentai. I do actually need to check this one out, too, at some point. Yeah. Okay, nothing there. Okay, What Culture? Top 10 worst anime adaptations. Let's see what they have to say. Erased? Really? Why? Animated Stumble Classic? Even if it stumbles... Okay, so it's because they don't think it's a good adaptation of the manga. I haven't read the manga, so I can't speak for that. Fruits Basket, I don't care. Dead Man Wonderland. As far as a bad adaptation, I would agree, because it only does half of the story and cuts out a lot of shit, but fuck you. While the manga tried to make Gonta less of a whiny piss baby as the series... Fuck off. It's called development. You're probably the same kind of people who would simp for Kylo Ren, but you shit on Gonta. Fuck off. Berserk, I'm assuming they're going mainly on the adaptation. Gantz, as far as an adaptation, I guess so, because it only tells, like, the first 3 missions, and then it completely changes. Okay, so, it looks like they're not shitting on the character. I'm surprised, because usually people... Okay, for our main character... Yeah, he does develop a lot more in the manga, so fair enough. Full Metal Alchemist. Hot take. Great series. I don't care. I haven't finished Brotherhood. I have finished the original. I intend to finish Brotherhood. I don't think the original is bad. I don't get why it gets so much hate. I know it's not the same as the manga, but it's like, whatever. The like, weird shit with, like, you know, Hohenheim's... I think this is, like, Hohenheim's son, Envy is. And then they're, like, in this alternate world where World War II exists in our world, and, like, they're in the same basic time frame. And then, like, at the movie at the end of this, they end up in our world. No, I actually think that Full Metal Alchemist is fine. I think that people overhate it. And, it's just cool to shit on it because Brotherhood is considered superior, and, well, I haven't finished Brotherhood. I don't get why that would make this one suddenly bad just because the other one was superior. Although I can't say that it is because I haven't finished it, so yeah. Tokyo Ghoul Rude, huh? The second season. That's fun to shit on, but you know something? Season 2 is not that bad. I actually thought Season 2 was just fine. In all honesty, Season 3 is worse. And by Season 3, I mean the first season of Tokyo Ghoul Re. Tokyo Ghoul Rude is really not that bad, and I think it gets way more hate than it deserves. Top 10 worst anime games. Let's hear about this. Love Hina Advance. Never heard of it. Didn't play that either. Haven't played that. Okay. There was an Akira game? Here's a Crunchyroll forum. Oh, this guy says Naruto. How edgy. I'm gonna call myself out before anyone else does. I realize that I just used the word edgy, and I literally did a whole video bitching about how the word edgy has no meaning and is overused. So, there you go. Called myself out. I was using it to mean, like, you know, people trying to be, like, different and contrarian, but there you go. That proves my point. I was being stupid, and I used it. My bad. Ooh! Is this guy a contrarian? Sword Art Online, I mean, fair enough. Pokemon, fair enough. Bakugan, yeah. Beyblade, okay. Gintama, really? Gintama. Gintama's fun. What the fuck is wrong with you? Hunter x Hunter rips off DBZ. Oh yes, because everything rips off DBZ. Even just because DBZ is a generic battle shonen.jpg. Everything else that's a generic battle shonen.mp4 is the same thing. I totally thought that said Medea. Medea's top 10 worst anime parents, and I was really happy there for a second.
I changed my life. You ain't got to say nothing. I am living for the Lord. I am living for the Lord. I am living for the Lord. Hallelujah.
Top 5 worst horror anime. Okay, let's go. Let's see what they have to say. Shiki?
Fuck you!
Really? Fuck you. I mean, the hair, yeah, the hair's bad, but, like, Shiki's fucking great. Fuck you. Double fuck you.
Fuck you, fuck you!
Hold the hell on. Okay, we're reading this one. So we'll start with Shiki. Shiki, or Living Corpse in Japanese, starts out on a high note. Literally, the haunting soundtrack of this series is super creepy. In a small town, a series of disappearances unravels a larger mystery surrounding a deadly epidemic. Unfortunately, the execution of this story in Shiki ends in a bloody mess. I mean, yeah, it does. They mean literally a bloody mess, right? Like, because of all the bloodshed. Well, let's see, the root of the problem, pacing, combined... No! The pacing's fine. Underdeveloped cast of characters. There's a lot of characters. It's hard to develop that many. And the characters that stand out are really good. Like the Dr. Ozaki, and Natsuno, and Megami. I fucking hated Megami at the beginning, but I love her towards the... Like, I love Vampire Megami. Vampire Megami's cool. Oh, you were wondering about the string of mysterious deaths? Vampires, naturally. Yeah, it's a vampire story. Vampires with nothing better to do than turn this quaint countryside town into a... That's how vampires work! Are you fucking unfamiliar with vampires as a concept? Moron. But honestly, the scariest part of this anime is the hair. Fuck off. It's... Again, the hair is bad. I will admit that. Anyway, if you're rolling your eyes thinking, oh geez, another sexy vampire story, put down your wooden stake for a smidgen. Yeah, because it's not a sexy vampire story. It's an actual vampire story. Japanese presentation on the old monsters of Western lore. I'm assuming they're not based on infamous Chinese hopping vampire. Yeah.
Yes, I know, shocking.
Yeah. It's pretty interesting. If you want a refreshing take on the vampire vampire concept, go watch Blood Plus. You won't regret... Yeah, but Shiki's better. I've watched like 4 episodes of Blood Plus, so I haven't seen all of it, but Shiki's better. With Shiki, the vampires aren't an issue. It's a large pile of overdone cliched themes. Okay. Does that make you want to claw your eyes out? I mean, in what way? Vampires, like... I don't know. I don't get that vibe at all. Shiki's vampires are walking corpses that retain their beauty in death.
So?
Yeah, that's how vampires work. The series attempts to handle a theme horror. Do you mean a horror theme involving vampires? What does it mean to be human? Yeah. And what is evil? Yeah. It's very, like, morally gray. I love Shiki. It's not that subjective morality is an awful theme to explore. It's just that it's been done many times. So is literally everything. Literally nothing is original anymore. Fuck off. Okay, Elfen Lied. Here we go. Here we fucking go.
What the fuck?
I had such high hopes for Elfen Lied, for the first scene doesn't pull any punches, yeah. It was visually shocking and had compelling filmography. The absolute bloodbath and eerie setting place this show right in the sci-fi horror genre. Lucy, a mysterious horned girl with extraordinary powers, breaks out of a government lab in the process of wiping her pursuers off the face of the earth. Lucy gets a head injury and lapses into a state of amnesia, right? Both her killer instinct and personality are wiped clean, leaving behind a shell of a girl that can only say "you." Yeah, naturally that's what she goes by for the rest of the series. Like many main characters in... Okay, assume that's Chobits. Niu is effectively a toddler. And she wanders around the blah blah blah. Enter the hapless protagonist Koda, who is a piece of butterless toast in terms of personality. I mean, he's fine. I don't got a problem with Koda. I mean, he could be more developed, I'll say that, but, like, I don't know, he's a normal guy. Oh, sure, he's not at all motivated by the fact that Niu is a highly attractive anime babe and not butter skivvies. Yeah, so? I mean, he's a guy, and he's attracted to her. So fucking what? The thing is that gets overlooked, is number one, Koda doesn't, like, get really creepy with her. She's just, like, really attractive, and she's just there. He doesn't, like, go out and pursue her or anything. And then on top of that, any weird situation he ends up in is because of her. He doesn't actually put that on her. And then, of course, there's the fact that there's literally 3 personalities within Lucy. There's Lucy, Niu, and Kaide. Now, Kaide is the original version of herself from when she was a kid. She's actually not named in the anime. But Lucy's the evil part that tells her to kill. And Niu is the innocent one. But anyway, Koda takes the horned girl home to take care of her because he, like, wants a pet or something. I mean, he's literally just trying to take care of her. And the only reason they shelter her is because they're trying to help her. And then when they try to, like, when they think about, like, getting the police involved, they find out that she's, like, wanted. So it's like, no. Okay, blah, 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 love triangles, blah, blah, blah. For as horrifying as the action in the opening episode was, the parts that made me the most uncomfortable had nothing to do with heads exploding. Around episode 3, Elfen Lied becomes a borderline harem show. Kinda. I would say no. But I do kind of get where they're coming from. This is made worse by the bland protagonist and his weird romance subplot with his cousin, which is normal in Japan. Not saying it's normal here, it's fucking weird, but... And here's the thing. I'm with you. I fucking hate Yuka. Yuka is a bad character. And the fact that they end up together in the manga pisses me off. So don't get me wrong. I'm with you on that. And I think it's a weird romance, but in a lot of the world, it's not. It is here, for sure, and I think it's fucking weird, but... Fan service killed the horror. No, it didn't. I would say the horror is definitely understated. It's more of a violent action series with a lot of nudity in it. But, yeah. I love Elfen Lied, so fuck you. This is like... Again, Elfen Lied is like my second favorite anime. It's my favorite standalone anime. But, when we factor in the entire Devilman franchise, it overtakes Elfen Lied. But Elfen Lied is my favorite anime on its own. Another... Okay, now them's fighting words, motherfucker. Let's see. Welcome to Final Destination, the anime. Okay, yeah, that's a valid point. I've literally made that joke multiple times when talking about it, so... Another follows Misaki Mei, a troubled student whose existence is in question when the series opens. The other students act like she doesn't exist, and the creepy eye patch and constant brooding, our main character wonders if she's a ghost. I know. I will admit, a lot of the atmosphere is lost after it's revealed exactly who she is and how that whole thing works, with the calamity and the pretending someone doesn't exist. I think that does kind of change the tone drastically, but I still think it stays good after that. Anyway, by the way, the main character is super popular transfer student. Trope warning. Anime is loaded with tropes. If you're complaining about this, then don't watch anime. Anyway, he just gets friendly with Mei. An odd string of gruesome classroom deaths begin, and evil curses at work. But could Mei be connected somehow? I mean, yes and no, because she's not the imposter, you know. So she doesn't get, you know, when she gets thrown out in space, it's, you know, she's not the imposter.
No, not funny. That was really bad.
That was a bad joke, and I'm sorry, but, you know, the fact that she was the one chosen to not exist does mean that she is involved, at least in that regard. Another starts out with a creepy curse, but the supernatural elements are downplayed in favor of an absurd level of gore. I wouldn't say an absurd level. I've seen much gorier stuff. I mean, Elfen Lied had more gore. Lots of things have more gore. Anyway, the curse's goal seems to be killing as many students as possible in the most nonsensical way. When your horror story makes the most mundane classroom objects look dangerous, it morphs into another genre of comedy. No! Absolutely not. Making normal everyday objects scary is not bad. That is literally what Junji Ito is praised for, and he does that in a very different way, obviously. But, no. While the humor is clearly not the intent of the mysteries, as the dark tone remains... And again, the mystery actually keeps it very entertaining, so fuck off. Begin laughing each time another character is picked off. Well then, you, my friend, are a fucking psychopath. This completely cheapens the struggle of Mei, which on paper is legitimately tragic. What the fuck? When... Higurashi? Oh my god! What is wrong with you? This person has no goddamn taste. This was a good list to talk about. I've literally had something to say about every single entry so far. And, I definitely will continue to. Oh, I certainly will. Alright then. Yeah, so, Higurashi no Nakakoro ni, which is When They Cry. Actually, if you directly translate it, it's When the Cicadas Cry. But it's called When They Cry in the US, so fair enough. I first heard of Higurashi because of a certain torture scene from the show. Is very popular across the interwebs, yeah. That's Satoko's death from the eye-opening arc. You've probably seen a GIF or stumbled across a video if you've spent time in anime forums. Yeah, anyway, Dashing Nerd's Facebook page. We asked for the most disturbing anime scene they've ever witnessed. What we got was a crazy moment from Higurashi where the character's fingernails are cut off. Yikes. Yeah, it's disturbing. I had to see for myself what the context was. I mean, the level of insanity of that scene promised a boon of interesting characters and terrifying concepts, which it definitely has. So I jumped in not quite knowing what else to expect. Higurashi was a bit more than the horror story I bargained for. Yeah. Okay, the plot of Higurashi is told in miniature arcs, right? Following mysterious disappearances and murderers. After a few episodes, someone dies, goes missing, And then the plucky student protagonist, Keiichi, and his friends try to figure it out. I mean, he's only the protagonist in the first arc, so that's technically a fallacy right there. Before they can stop the curse, the plot resets and recycles, always with the same pattern, but with different characters. Okay, I mean, I guess you did kind of acknowledge it there. Not even our beloved transfer student is safe. I mean, the time reset thing takes some getting used to. I will fully admit that. But once you get used to it, it's great. The setting is in a cursed small town with a transfer student at its center. Ah, shoot, that sounds familiar. Fuck off. This person just can't put up with any small amount of, like, tropes. Tropes exist because... Tropes exist for a reason. They're successful, yes. And I think that you're way too fucking focused on them. If it's over-tropey, I can be turned off it. But Higurashi is a very unique series in a lot of ways. He is pretty much interchangeable with Koda and Elfen Lied, or Koichi and another... How? How? What the fuck are you talking about? Because he... Okay, so again, he's a blank slate. Not really. I mean, he's a normal guy, I'll give you that. It's the everyman character, which, you know, you kind of self-insert, I think a lot of people do. But, I mean, a large part of that is because it's based on a video game. So I think that's unfair. But there are very little similarities between Koda, Koichi, and Keiichi. I guess when you got a transfer student and the name of the begins with the letter K, fuck off, you are not funny.
No, not funny. That was really bad.
You are not funny at all. I guess when you're but Koda's not even a transfer student. Yeah, so what the fuck? All the female students are oddly colored hair will flock to you. The downside is one of them might end up being the killer in this story arc. Slowly the plot attempts to reveal a little more about the cause of the murders plaguing the town. The problem is we don't get any solid answers to the true cause of the tragedies this season. Yeah, the second season is the one that gives you the answers. Although they do give you some answers in Season 1, like the Parasite thing, which I actually didn't like. But anyway, Higurashi, they threw... I assume they meant in Higurashi, they threw so many possibilities out there when trying to explain the plot. Everything from disease to ghosts. I don't think ghosts is ever mentioned at all. Do you mean demons? And it's parasites. It's a disease called Hinamizawa syndrome, which is contributed by these parasites. And they straight up point to that towards the end of Season 1. To alternate dimensions. That has nothing to do with the tragedy. That's about the world resetting, so you're conflating. That's impossible to make sense of the universe. I wouldn't watch this unless you enjoy being confused. It definitely takes some getting used to. But, no. But what sets Higurashi apart in its awfulness, fuck you, is the bipolar tone of the show. Okay, I know where they're going with this. They're saying jumping from cutesy to brutal and back and forth. I actually kind of, sort of agree with this on the surface. I hated the cutesy stuff the first time I watched Higurashi. I had to fight myself to get through episode 2. But the cutesy stuff is absolutely 100% necessary. Because it gives the characters development, it humanizes them, and it gets you attached to them. And because you have that element, when they die in brutal ways, it actually has impact, rather than just being there. So, yeah, you're wrong. In 1 minute we have a poorly written... Fuck off! High school slice of life anime. Keiichi is laughing along with the girls and cracking jokes. They all flirt, each secretly hoping to win his affection. No! That is not at all what they're going for. Higurashi is not a harem series. They are literally just his friends. I guess Reina and Mion kind of fight over him. That's true. But other than that, no. And I guess Shion, to an extent, kind of likes him, but that's really because she's thinking of Satoshi. But she's not interested in Keiichi, per se. But Mion and Reina, sure. I'll give you that. And he's got more of a big brother relationship with Satoko, because he reminds her of Satoshi. And, Rika is like, kind of like a goddess, almost. So she's not really interested in that. She's just fucking tired of dying, because she's the only one who can remember it. And, what the fuck is her name? This one. Starts with a K. What the fuck is her name? I don't remember her name. It starts with a K. I know that much. She's literally, like, a supernatural being. Then one of the girls thinks to herself, wouldn't it be nice to plunge a syringe into his neck? It's the parasites in their brain driving them insane. Insane in the membrane.
No, not funny. That was really bad.
Sorry, that wasn't funny either. The drastic shift in tone goes from happy-go-lucky to psycho murder to psycho murder chase was pure insanity. I mean, yeah, that's kind of what makes it interesting, is it just jumps back and forth. And that's the other thing, is in real life, that's what could happen. Literally any second, someone could turn out to be a psycho killer, and, you know, you would never know. So I think that the mundanity of the slice-of-life elements in Higurashi add to the effect because it's more realistic that way. I get the feeling the laid-back, easygoing setting was meant to be unsettling, but it just adds to the further giant mess the series makes. Okay, you motherfucker. Fucking justify yourself right now.
Justify yourself.
Why is Claymore on here? There is another world out there, but it's nothing like the fairy tale land you've heard about before. Claymore is set in medieval-era continent plagued with Yoma. These parasitic monsters not only survive on human flesh, they relish in devouring humans by pretending to be them. Yes, like the Thing. The Yoma can even go so far as to take the personality traits of the person whose body they inhabit, putting those closest to them in most danger. What is your problem so far? Imagine coming home to find your mom, or someone who acts like your mother, shoveling the innards of one of your siblings into her jaws. It's a primal, paralyzing fear. Yes. Okay, what is negative? The only way to detect a Yoma is by fighting fire with fire. Half human, half Yoma female warriors called Claymore. Yes, abso-fucking-lutely. To me, this anime is perhaps the largest disappointment of all. Claymore's anime failed in a large way despite having fantastic source material. Seriously, this anime should have been as big as Attack on Titan. Unfortunately, the series deviated drastically from the source material in order to finish up in 26 episodes. The manga ends on a cliffhanger. The anime took a drastic stab at the final battle, which in the manga didn't happen until 27 volumes and 8 years later. Don't waste your time watching the anime's alternate ending. There's an oh, you're saying because of the anime, okay. You'll mostly get a fine sampling of the action from episode 1. At most, you'll get a fine sampling of the action from episode 1. So, the ending does have its problems. I don't like Rocky's sudden, like, we just need to stop the bloodshed, blah, 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 and then they don't kill her. That's lame. I will admit that. But that doesn't ruin the entire series. That's just one downside. Rocky is a bad character. I don't like him. Fair enough. But, like, they're not even mentioning that yet. But they probably will. In addition to the tragic turn from the epic plot, the soundtrack kills the dark tone of the series. What the fuck are you talking about? Claymore has an amazing soundtrack. The opening starts with a dark, intense guitar riff and then bagpipes. Okay, that's the ending, not the opening, and there is nothing wrong with bagpipes. Bagpipes are a fucking underrated instrument. I understand what they were going for with Claymore, comes from the term of a Scottish blade, but that is literally the only reference to Scotland in the series. Just because bagpipes are a Scottish instrument doesn't mean that it has to all be Scottish or some shit. What the fuck is wrong with you? I think they misspelled Scotland. Isn't there only one T in Scotland? Yeah, there's only one T in Scotland. Fuck you. The music is so painfully out of place that it's comically... No, it fucking isn't! I don't know how the producers ever gave their stamp of approval on the music. Fuck off! Thanks for reading this list. Hopefully it saved you some time and energy before you pick up the next scary anime. Watch all of these. Fuck this list. Literally watch all of these. These are all good. These are literally, like, at least 2 of these are in my top 10, if not 3 of them. So, like, this is in my top 10. I think Higurashi is. I know Elfen Lied is. Another was at one point, and Shiki still is, too. So, most of these are in my top 10 anime of all time, if not my top 10 anime of the 2010s. So, fuck off. Get the hell out of here with that shit. That does it for this video. Toodles.
What a grand adventure this has been. God bless us, everyone. God, yeah. As soon as I can walk again, I'm gonna kick that kid's ass.
That sucked. I'm sure glad that's over with.